Hello everyone and welcome to today's video, which will be based on HyperX Alloy or... Wait, what? Oh yeah, this is the right keyboard, sorry, my bad. So we're going to talk about HyperX Alloy Origins Core, the TKL version with the HyperX Red LINEAR switches, which I heard they're quite quiet. And not those clicky ones, which are HyperX Blue. So we're going to go in depth, test out of course, the Keyswitch sound and all the other information that you need to know about the keyboard. So stay tuned. Two most important and the only things that you get in the box is a fully braided cable, which is Type-C on one end and standard USB on another, and you get the 10 keyless keyboard from HyperX, which looks so minimalistic and so nice. And the cool thing, as I always say, it has a nice HyperX logo right above the arrow key part, which is quite alright, and I don't like the full branded stuff going all over the part. But in any case, if they wanted to, they have no space because the keyboard is fully minimalistic, as you can see, and it's easy to carry, not just because it's let's say smaller, but it's compact and it doesn't have the keyboard body going too much around the keycaps, key switches, buttons in general. Basically, we have loads of multifunction parts, so you have an onboard memory profile selection. From F6 to F8 you have the media keys. From F9 to F11 you have the volume control keys, and on F12 you have the game mode key. Now on the far right side you have two indication lights. One is for the caps lock and one is for the gaming mode, which shuts down all the buttons that could distract you while gaming, of course. On the spacebar you have a HyperX logo, so just H and X, and that's all there is to it when it comes to branding. There's nothing more than that. On the bottom part of the keyboard you have 4 rubber pads, which really do keep the keyboard stable on the surface, and the keyboard is already raised by 3%, so this is really nice. But when you raise one part of the legs, you get 7 degrees angle of the keyboard, and this is also cool because they have additional rubber pads. When you raise the final legs of the keyboard, you get 11 degrees and they also have rubber pads. So basically you have 8 rubber pads on the keyboard, keeping it constantly steady when you decide the degree of the keyboard and how the angle will be. When we're talking about the braided cable, it's fairly long, and it's quite alright to be fairly long. Let's see, yeah. And basically when you pull it out of the standard shape inside the box, and when you stretch it up, it really still has a bit of I would say curves on the parts where the cable was bent, but I think it would straight up very quickly. Type-C connectivity, as I already said, very easy to connect, nothing to think about too much. And one thing I did miss, and I didn't say it yet, the whole chassis, bottom, top and the middle plate is full aircraft grade aluminium. So basically what you get is a heavier keyboard than usual, but immediately when you take the keyboard in your hands you can feel the quality just because of the aluminium part. And I mean, first I thought it was going to be just the middle plate that holds the switches, but the bottom part is aluminium, the top part is, and the middle plate where everything is connected. When we're talking about the switches, so right here we have the HyperX Red LINEAR switches, and removing the cap, on top you have the LED that lights up everything. So I'm really curious how it will light up the bottom part of the keycap, because All the letters and numbers and signs are on top except for the function keys. So I'm really curious, will it light up properly the function keys and the lower part of the keycap? Let's plug it in and then we're going to check the RGB and the click sound. Somebody's ready for gaming because immediately when I turned it on, the gaming mode was on. So FN plus F12 turns on or off the gaming mode. Now, I did mention that we're going to talk about RGB, so here it is. The interior part of the keycap is, let's say, because of the white interior, it kind of reflects the RGB light inside the whole keycap, which is quite alright because the F1, F2, F3 and all the multifunctional keys have enough light for the bottom part, which has the signs for, as I said, onboard memory profiles, multimedia keys, multifunctional keys and gaming mode as well. So it has the standard HyperX lettering, which is, for me, it's quite alright. I have nothing against it and it does look really nice. On the arrow keys with the FN you can adjust the brightness, and using the FN key plus and the up arrow you can adjust the light's brightness to the maximum, and with the down arrow you can adjust the lowest part and even switch it off. I like that just because you don't have to circle constantly around lights to adjust the brightness that suits you perfectly. If you want the maximum, you just go and tap the arrow up key to get the maximum. Talking about the RGB in general, it's really cool, and the best thing is that it reflects from the body of the keyboard and gets an additional shine, as you can see, but it does shine really nice and it reflects even more. So for some of you that can be distracted with this kind of lights, I mean, the colors are brilliant and I have nothing left to say about it. You can always lower the brightness. So basically, if you lower it just when you're playing in the dark, you can still get enough lights to see the keys, but still you won't get that reflection at the maximum color, which really does impress nicely. So let's hear the key switch sound. As you can hear, the switches are really nice and they don't have that click which can sometimes be annoying to some, but they do have a nice sound and it's not irritating, which is for some of you, I believe, very important. Now the actuation point is 1.8 millimeters and full distance of this switch is 3.8 millimeters. Actuation force needed to activate the key is 45 grams, and I think these switches are maybe even better than the Cherry MX Red switches, just because they have the same actuation force, but the actuation point is 2 millimeters on Cherry MX Red, and on these ones is 1.8 millimeters, and the full travel is 4 millimeters on Cherry MX Red. So guys, yeah, I mean, I'm really satisfied with the switches and the sound and the distance of travel. Now you also have two more switches. You have the green ones, which are tactile, and you have the blue ones, which are clicky. I'll put the links below for you guys to check out the switches that they have, so maybe if you decide to go with something else, you can always go with something else. Basically, I'm really satisfied with the keyboard. The only thing, and I'm not sure if HyperX would do such a thing, but going wireless with the TKL that looks like this, with this kind of RGB would be amazing, but then again, it wouldn't be standard keyboard that you and me are always looking for. Very transportable keyboard, compact, no additional stuff on the sides, the only multifunctional keys that you need with the memory profiles, multimedia keys and volume control, even gaming mode on F12 is quite alright. So guys, I think this keyboard definitely deserves a PC Crazy approved badge for the design, for the RGB, even for the switches. I mean, you can choose different switches, but for the switches as well, just because they sound on the paper, they look on the paper better than the Cherry MX red switches. And all in all, links for the HyperX Alloy Origins Core TKL version is below, so you can check out the price and basically where to buy it. If you like the video, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, subscribe if you already didn't, for future content of course, and I'll see you in another one. Bye bye.